One. Welcome back as we get ready for Dude Perfect, as we welcome in ESPN and Sportscenter here to our Fairburg, and we bring in Kevin Negandhi. Kevin, first of all, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate you spending a little time with us.
Shane, it's my pleasure. Pretty cool experience to be here in Wichita. First time I've ever been to Wichita, so I've learned a few things and the rich history of Lynette Woodard and Barry Sanders and Gail Sayers, and Bill Parcells was also here. So it's just cool as a sports fan that's in front of the camera to highlight and showcase a city that is passionate about sports, and also kind of see what I could do with the Dude Perfect guys.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But this whirlwind tour that the ESPN has decided to go on, how long in the making has this idea been in the works?
Well, we did one 2 decades ago, and I've been at the company for 19 years, so it happened right before I showed up. And I was always like, man, that would have been really cool. And I think this has been in the process over the last few months that they started sorting things out. I started hearing rumblings about it late in the winter. And for them to be able to pull it off, 50 days, 50 states, and map out like events that are in different states, and every single day what we're doing. We had to adjust a couple times. I know that earlier this week we had to move a state around, and that becomes challenging, but that's what we do in this business, right? You adapt, you adjust, and then you have fun with it.
And a little bit later on, we talked to me off air a little bit about what's going on over the next couple of hours for you. It's a hit here, it's a hit here.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're going out to Tahoe and talking to Barkley via Sportscenter. So that makes it exciting for you, I'm too sure.
It is never dull. If you're in this business, understand that you have to adjust and be flexible. And we're going to be live at 5 o'clock Central Time. 6 o'clock Eastern, and you're doing hits. I'm going to welcome the entire SportsCenter audience to Wichita. And then about 10 minutes later, hopefully we have Charles Barkley off the course at Lake Tahoe to join us. And then we'll have a segment with me and the dudes competing. I give them a slight advantage. And then the nightcap at the back end of that hour, we're going to have the guys join us live just to talk about this whole tour. Because clearly, when you're on stage, I mean, look at the group that we have here. Like, there's so many people behind the scenes building this stuff, and they go like a rock group or a musical group that's going city to city. You have to do so much building up to it. But how do you captivate the audience for 2.5 or 2 hours or how long they're going to do it, right? You have to do a lot of different things, and it's not just about competition. So I'm kind of curious to ask the dudes, hey, what are you going to do for entertainment? How do you entertain them? And then we'll see how that plays out.
Now, personally, I understand you're a Pennsylvania guy, and you actually went to Syracuse, but they let you get away. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, the snow. I lasted one semester. I saw a few feet of snow, and I was like, this ain't for me. But I'm a Philly guy. I came back to my roots, and that's Temple University. It turned out to be a phenomenal experience. Best decision I ever made. I was there during the John Chaney years. When we had Aaron McKee, we had Eddie Jones, Rick Brunson, and then we went into Pepe Sanchez. So we had some good runs there. Had a couple of great games against Kansas. I remember those games vividly. So, for me, it always comes back to my passion. It's always been Philadelphia sports, and Temple provided a great forum for me.
I'm interested to know, regardless of whether you're a SportsCenter anchor, play-by-play guy, color guy, you all have your allegiances. And you're a Philly guy, and you like all sports Philadelphia. Yeah. So while you're at the desk, how do you hide that? I know most famously Mike Greenberg does not. He's a Jets guy, and everybody knows it. But how do you disguise your fandom?
So, I don't disguise it. I think the late, great Stuart Scott, who loved Carolina, kind of opened the door for many of us to say, you know what? We're fans first. That's the reason why we got here. But I will tell you, and I tell anybody this, I'm harder on my teams than you would be at home on your teams. And I know more about, let's just say, being an Eagles fan. I know more about the Eagles and the Cowboys and the Giants and the Commanders than I think anybody would, because you're so passionately involved. And never once do I insult the audience. We have fun with it, but if I'm doing a Cowboys story, I'm doing a Cowboys story, and I have respect for that audience. At the same time, we'll badger them back and forth, or if I'm with a former Cowboy, like Darren Woodson was with us, and obviously 3 Super Bowls, hopefully a future Hall of Famer, turned out to be a great friend of mine. We would give each other the business back and forth. That's what it's all about. That's fandom, and I think the audience relates to that. I'm hypercritical of the Phillies. Elle Duncan is my co-host on SportsCenter. She is a diehard Braves fan. We will give it to each other the entire time, but we also know respectfully, if I'm doing a Braves highlight, I'm going to hold the Braves accountable with the audience because I'm going to hold myself accountable. Same thing with the Phillies. Same thing with any team that you're watching, because in the end, we all know that the fan bases that are watching are passionate like us. So I never am going into a situation where I'm bashing a team and, it's coming from a bad place. It's more like we're going to be critical of the team because we're objective the entire time.
And the whole nation's watching too, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I think the whole nation appreciates it. They like the experience because deep down we're just being ourselves. We are being the original fans who are holding, ourselves accountable, and we're professionals about it at the same time. We have fun with it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, there's a time and place for it as well. I'll tell a brief story here. When the Eagles lost the 2009 NFC Championship game, I was literally on the air when it happened, and they fell apart defensively against the Cardinals, right? They had the lead when the show started, and I'm on SportsCenter. As the game ended, I watched them fall apart. I had an hour with Trent Dilfer and Merrill Hodge, and man, it was such a cathartic experience for me because I let them have it. I was ticked off about the defense and Andy Reid. I did not hold back, and Trent and Merrill were like, man. And I was like, well, they deserve it. And he was like, both of them were like, well, you know more than anybody else about being an Eagles fan. What was the problems? And I was like, yes. So, again, if for anybody that's saying you're a homer, understand that we are harder on our own teams.
So a lot of the audience that you're talking to on ESPN Wichita are huge Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
So with that in mind,
Yes.
the Eagles fans, they got theirs.
They did, and we're not shy about it. We'll talk about it, especially what happened a couple years ago. I was at that game a couple years ago, and our hearts were broken, especially in that final drive and the pass interference call. But at the same time, I thought what is building and brewing between these two organizations, model franchises, phenomenal GMs on both sides, and, of course, the tie-in is Andy, right? And Andy Reid has done an incredible job, and I think what Andy's done in Kansas City is set him apart from, no doubt he's a Hall of Fame coach. He needed the Kansas City experience after what he went through in Philadelphia. And I have so much respect for him and the organization. My first job was in Kirksville, Missouri. So I covered the Chiefs team for a year before I went to Florida, and I'm fully aware of the passion. I love Arrowhead. It's a unique place, loud as heck, man. And hopefully you get another rematch.
And in some ways, I was getting ready to go there. In some ways, it's good that the Eagles are in the NFC and the Chiefs are in the AFC, because if the Eagles were a part of the Bills and the Bengals and all the Chiefs fandom going head-to-head, it would be almost too much.
You're right. And I'm actually glad that you guys are in the AFC, because then you have to deal with the Bengals, the Ravens, and, of course, the Bills who are surging, and potentially maybe the Chargers in your own division. And Philly could just worry about, 2 or 3 teams.
Kevin, appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your time in Wichita and in Kansas, and safe travels on the road.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Again, SportsCenter on the road, 50 days, 50 states, more to come this entire summer.